Welcome to another episode. Today we are talking to Steady Stacks, brought to you by AVAX. And I'm so excited to have you, dad and son duo. Okay, let's go. Talk to me a little bit about who you are and Steady Stacks.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, firstly, Gigi, it's been a pleasure to meet you and the whole crew in Paris this week. And so I'm Hassan Sheikh, aka RPH, and this is my father.
Rashid Sheikh, which we maximize your value and make you rich.
We're Steady Stack. We're a fintech and data company, one of the only in the space, and we're just building some really cool stuff with an amazing community.
But for the people at home that may not know you, what makes you guys different?
Yeah, I think the first thing is always going to start with the community, because even before we had anything, right, we had our community. Like the grassroots foundation, the people who would follow us, follow the tweets, really resonate with the type of messages that we were putting out there. And so when I first got into the space, I realized, I bought my first NFT. It was a Doge Pound NFT, early 2021. Got it for like 0.1 ETH, flipped a bunch for like 2 ETH in the summer. And at that point, I really got into the rabbit hole, and I realized there was a few things that were missing. Number one, leadership, right? There wasn't enough leadership. If community is the number one utility, then why is everybody not investing their everything into their community? Number two was utility. I come from Web 2. I've been building businesses for nearly a decade with my brother, and I'm grateful that now I get to build with my father and my brother. It's a family business. So number two is utility. And so coming from Web 2, everybody would say, there's these monkey pictures, but what's the utility, right? So that was a really big need for me to come in and try to fill. And then the last one is sustainability. So as you guys know, NFTs and the images themselves, they're not on chain. They're, hosted through IPFS on AWS, right? And so in this cycle, I actually think we're going to see a lot of NFTs that ran out of business, and they're not even going to be hosted anymore. And so it was really important for us to have sustainable business models to actually keep this business alive, keep this entity alive for a very long time, and do it in a unique way with our community.
That's amazing. And Dad, how did you came into the play?
So I tell you, Gigi, first of all, thank you so much for doing this on the 11th hour. We literally have a flight in less than 2 hours, but we appreciate it. So I think for me, I have spent 20 years in the technology business, and I was helping different companies in electromechanics with consumer electronics like RIM, BlackBerry, I don't know if you know BlackBerry days, Nokia, Motorola, then of course SmithKline, Eli Lilly. So it was consumer electronics and healthcare business. So I set up factories around the globe, especially in China, Europe, and then even those days I built cross-functional leadership team training. And so basically it's all about people, process, system. So when I really looked at what's going on with Steady Stack, they're growing very, very fast. There's a very good community. And secondly, the technologies they have built, because honestly, one thing I requested my progeny, that whatever you're doing, make sure you do it for the humanity. Make sure that you leave a legacy. It's not about what you're doing for today. It is when you leave, how do you leave this place?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he would always tell us, make sure that you're actually solving problems.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing.
And it has to be for the humanity, not for just one person. It cannot be just for yourself. It has to be a much bigger cause. And that's the reason I even tell Steady Stack community, guys, you are not doing something just to become billionaire. You will. That's not a problem. I've seen many people, I've helped many people, and I've turned many companies around. But the real thing is that you become a legacy. And honestly, that's where Hassan said, Dad, we really need you because you have done so many processes and operations. So we have the people, we have the process, we have the system, but we are missing the experience. And because if you go into NFT, even crypto market, most of the people you see, they are youngsters, which is great. It's a lot of passion. But honestly, there is no replacement. There's no replacement for experience. So that's the reason where I came in, because my goal, I only have one goal. And that goal is every single one in our community become rich, but they leave an amazing legacy. Not just Hassan and Zan, but every single one who meet with us become a legacy.
Yep. And
I'm in, guys.
Yeah. And that's why it's called Steady Stack. So you asked, how did he get involved? So my brother and I, we've been, building businesses, started with an agency all the way back when I was 15 years old, built up, a successful Amazon business, then an Amazon coaching business. And, that was at the age of 19, 20. And when I got into crypto in 2016, 2017, I fell in love with the idea of Bitcoin, freedom money. It always spoke to me. And so after getting into the NFT space, we started this amazing project because of all the support from our community. And so, at some point we went from having five staff to nearly over 40 staff, and that doesn't count all of the people that we outsource to. And at which point my father would tell me, he's like, I see in my dreams that there's so much efficiency that we can add, because of course, like, we know things, and this is, now you guys know after he spoke where the real alpha comes from. It comes from
There's
here.
a lot of alpha there.
This is the alpha. But when he saw us scale, he would literally tell me every time I was home, because I bounce around between Boston and Miami, he would tell us, I gotta show you guys how we can make everything efficient here. And so he came in, now he's full-time with us, and, he's built up an amazing real estate business. And so Steady Stack is all about steady stacking. We brought VC grade opportunities to the common people, whether that's IDOs, whether that's institutional mining access, or even, my father's built up a decent real estate portfolio, in the States. And we're even doing things with RWAs, bringing that to our community so that they can experience the same level. Like, we're all here to stack. Yeah. We are. You right? No matter what. Like, NFTs, truly, it's a network, it's a community like nothing else. But we're here for a reason, because we want to grow. We want to stack. And that's what we're helping people empower do.
So I would just add that, look, guys, it's never about what technology you build, what process you build. There is no doubt that they help. Okay? They create sustainability. But really, what is most sustainable, because life is very short. Right? How long are you going to live? Okay? But what lives is really the legacy. And why I keep using this word? That is that you make somebody bigger than life. And how do you really do it? That rest are all tools. So yes, one thing is, I can give you a few promises. One, we are building a technology which is not just usable for today, it is for future. That's the reason we are doing fintech data. Because everybody's talking about gaming. There's no games are good, great. But how long, what is the life cycle for games? Look what Apple did. Why did Apple differentiate? Apple differentiated, and that's the reason their brand and people are willing to pay more for Apple than any other phone. Why? Because they created this concept that they actually cannibalize their own product, and they have, they know what the life cycle is. That's when you see iPhone 13, 14, 15. Before even your phone is, and somebody else they replace it. Yep. It's called cannibalization. So we want to build technology and then phases that basically are not here for the bear or the bull. We don't care, bear, bull. We have been building in bear and bull. But they are there for very, very long time. And then, for example, one more thing, and I'll tell you one more thing in there. And that is basically that most companies, they go out, get the money, and then build the product. Whereas whatever I have done and whatever we have done all together, we bootstrap from our own assets. And if we don't believe it, nobody else. Yep. And what we're doing, totally opposite. Probably, in my opinion, we are the only company in the NFT industry, and even in the crypto industry, that where basically we put our own assets on stake and build the first phase. We have built the first phase of crypto mining. We have built now the dashboard, which can be, by the way, we're not just building B2C. We're building B2B. Yeah. So now there are two streams of revenue. Those people who are focused on revenue, there are two streams. The B2B revenue, that any platform we are building could be used for other businesses. And we are not really that greedy or they're worried, somebody else is going to be a competitor. Go, use it. So we want you to use, like we build Stack Algo. We're giving it free to all Discords. Yeah. We are building, mining dashboard. We're giving to everybody. We're building now, venture platform, which is...
Because we didn't want to just solve utility and sustainability for ourselves. That limits our impact. We want to build it for everybody. We want to build it for the industry, and that's the infrastructure layer that'll really take us the distance. Powered by the community.
Powered by the community, and then I know you guys have said so many amazing things, and I'm glad you mentioned the crypto mining, because I was telling your son how I was like, hey, I was talking to a few friends. I know they're interested in that, and that's like actual utility, right? Yep. For people that are looking for those services.
Absolutely.
And
because that person who has $1,000 cannot get $1 million deal. We put millions of dollars, and everybody can get that deal. Yeah. And that's what this community is all about. Because that's what the NFT. This is where the industry is going. What is a virtual reality and virtual organization? Those days, I call today's job is modern day slavery. We want to take these people out of the slavery and make them the leaders. Yep. They have so much potential. And that's what, honestly, my mantra is at the back end. I told Hassan that I want to motivate every single community member as a leader. and they should build these verticals.
I mean, we see it in the creator economy, right? Like, look at you, look at all of our friends, all of our people who, they're going out there, they brand themselves with this PFP and they become entrepreneurs themselves. They create businesses for themselves. They create that opportunity. And so, for us, it's always been about, we know that we're going to be steady stacking, and we know it's taken us, a decade, but also with my father, decades to get to this point. And it's not easy for everybody to replicate that. We recognize that, it's all glory to God, all a blessing. And we want to be able to bring that to everybody else, share those blessings, and thrive together. That's our motto, win together. And my father said something really good earlier, which is like, gaming is the hot focus. And, we do a lot of angel investing. We've got into, a ton of deals, grateful for that. But, it doesn't stop with us.
What is next?
We bring those to the community. But even beyond that, this is the second cycle for gaming. And I'm a firm believer that the next mega trend is actually going to be AI and data. And so that's what we've been focusing on and positioning ourselves for 2 years. While everybody else has been chasing the narrative, we've been thinking, what's going to be after this? Just like Coinbase in 2012, when they were laughed at for doing what they did. We feel like we may be, under the radar and less appreciated at the moment because everybody's focused on gaming, but our time will come.
Yeah, 100%. And, for a lot of gaming startups, they were hot at one point. They were not hot at one point. Everything's kind of coming back.
Yep.
Is there any alpha that our audience can get out of today's talk?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the biggest alpha is right here with us. Honestly, could not be more humbled and grateful to be building something. Honestly, if this wasn't something that we thought we could build into a massive legacy company that's going to impact, hundreds of thousands and hopefully millions of people one day, my father would just tell us, let's go in a different direction. So I'm glad that we've built something with a vision and a mission and a community great enough that we've been able to bring somebody like my father, who is semi-retired into this industry, because that's what we need.
Yeah.
And so, he's the alpha and he's joined us full time. This happened in the last 3 months. He's restructured internally the entire organization. We're ripping it apart. He's come on and he's really helping with the back end, because we went from 5 to 40 and it's getting out of hand. I can only do so much. The team can only do so much, and we need leaders like my father. But beyond that, we have our Ordinals collection coming up. I think Ordinals are going to be huge. Because honestly, they just make so much sense. Ordinals, Bitcoin is the mother chain. It's the chain with the most liquidity. It's the chain that the most people know. And the art is actually on chain. Right? And so all of those factors make it the perfect storm for a digital collectible. And so the vibes are amazing. We're actually launching a super tight knit collection of 333 Ordinals upcoming, at the end of Q1.
That's some alpha.
That's the alpha.
That's definitely some alpha.
And maybe we'll have to do something to get one of your followers.
So I think there's another alpha, because we are doing this for AVAX. So this is alpha AVAX. So the alpha AVAX is that, guys, we are going cross chain.
Yes.
We're going cross chain.
The future is multi-chain.
You legacy is not gonna be built. It's just like, okay, everybody have their own one lane road.
Be a maxi.
We cannot have one lane road. We gotta have multiple lane road.
Bridge,
so it's a multi-lane highway. This is today's multi-lane is AVAX and Polygon and those people.
Yep.
But
Arbitrum,
but I think honestly the next thing is even gonna be even bigger than that, and that's going to be like, right now you have dividers. AVAX is a divider, Polygon is a divider. So these are great bridges, but it's going to be, I see, much bigger, like where the birds fly.
Yep.
There's no limit.
The future is multi-chain. I absolutely believe that. Our community believes that. This is something I've been saying before I even started a collection. And one last piece of alpha that I would love to leave everybody with is that, also shout out to Magic Eden. We just partnered with them as a preferred partner.
Let's go.
So they actually just posted an announcement. We have an open edition, March 6th to 13th. I don't know when this is going to come out. It's going to be on Solana, completely free. And we're going to be doing a lot of cool things with Magic Eden. And we also have a bunch of large deliveries that we've been working on for almost 6 months to a year that are going to be shipping out in Q1. In 2023, we did one of the largest mints of the year, thanks to our amazing community. And then we really bunkered down on the tech, on the infrastructure. And so we kind of closed our mouths a little bit, and now we're ready to deliver. We're ready to ship. We're ready to take care of our community, and make some noise.
So one last thing I'll say. One last thing I would say is that basically, again, we believe in you, whether you are in the community or outside the community. We have several platforms, educational platform.
Yes.
Go educate yourself. Go on to StudyStack website and go into, our different linkages, whether that is Stack Algo, whether that is real
Join
estate
the
education.
Discord and you'll see everything.
And you see everything.
Yeah.
That there is so much for you. This couldn't be bigger. At the end of the day, it's all about educating yourself. Instead of charging you $25, $30, $100,000, this is all free, my friends.
And trust me, we've spent that money in investing in ourselves to be able to put this together. But
100%.
thank you again, Gigi, so much. This has been amazing.
Thank you guys for all the alpha. I'm gonna be trying to figure out how we can incentivize our listeners.
Yeah, we got
today.
to. We got to come up with
to
something.
participate in what you guys are doing. But yeah, I really appreciate your time. I know you got to go to the airport.
Yes.
This was a last minute interview. Shout out to Shiv and Arya back in the producing
Yes,
team
shout out
right
to the
now.
guys.
Thank you, Arya.
Yes.
And shout out to you guys.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
Looking forward to seeing everything
Gigi,
you
you're
guys
the
are
best.
doing.
Yeah,
you
Gigi's
guys are the
amazing.
best.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you guys. We'll see you soon.
All right.